Hello, 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 and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to my live. If you happen to see the red live button right up here, that means that I'm live. If it's no longer there, that means you're watching the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. And tonight we're going to be doing a 16-inch door round on the new Rustic Round that just launched on Tuesday. I'm very excited to use this surface. Once you come into the live or the replay, just make a comment and tell me where you're coming from. If you happen to be watching the replay, just put in hashtag replay so that I know that you've watched it later. Again, tell me who you are and where you're watching from. I am using an online platform called StreamYard. It doesn't tell me who is coming in. The only way I know that you're here is if you do comment. So please say hi. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using a size C 12 by 18 silkscreen reusable transfer from Couture. It is a sticky back silkscreen, so it does have, if I can pull this up, it is sticky on the back side. These are reusable. You can reuse them about 8 to 10 times depending on how you care for them. If you care for them properly, then you can get probably more than 8 to 12 times, but that's what they're guaranteed to. That's their guaranteed use. Because they are reusable, I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to write on the back side, on the backer sheet, what transfer this is, so that I know which transfer goes on the back on this transfer sheet and which side is the back. This is the matte side. This is kind of the glossy side. All of your transfers will always go back on the glossy side. And if you notice, this transfer has cut lines in it. All of these white lines, that's where you can cut this transfer apart. I try to keep my transfer backers intact. So I'm just going to be running my transfer trimmers along those white lines. Hi, Ashley. How are you doing? Do you have any big plans this weekend? You headed to the lake? What are you up to? I did decide to come on a little early tonight because my husband and I are celebrating our 26th anniversary of our first date. Our first date was July 7th of 1995. And so just this last Tuesday, it was the 26th anniversary of that first date. So we're going to go out to eat later. So I decided to come on a little early. So again, I'm just taking my transfer trimmers and I'm just going along those white lines. I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole transfer right now. I like to keep my backer sheets intact. That way I don't have a ton of little backer sheets laying all over the place trying to figure out what piece of the transfer they go on. Okay, so now that I've got that cut, I'm just going to lay it down for placement for right now. I am going to paint with chalk paste on this, and I do have one line already created so that I just wanted to get it ahead of time so I could get my placement. Ashley, you say you're going to be at the lake this weekend. Oh, are you already at the lake this weekend? Well, it's a hot day out there to be at the lake. Okay, so I've got this down already. So I'm just going to put this piece of tape, placement tape right here. Whoops. Okay, let me move that out of the way. I'm going to try to use my cutting mat as a guide so that I can hopefully get this straight. Looks pretty good. Yeah, when I was driving home from work today, the thermometer in my car said it was 103. Whew. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to put this away for right now because we don't quite need it yet, but I just wanted to use it for placement. I can get it back on there. Okay. So I think I'm going to be stingy and I'm going to create this for my own front door. You'd think, being a chalk couture designer, that I'd have a fully decorated house, but I got nothing on the walls. So I'm actually going to make something for our house. I'm using Cadet, and I'm going to mix some black in it. It's not quite navy enough. It's a little more royal blue than I would like. They don't have a true royal blue. So I like to mix black into my Cadet blue to make it a little more navy. I don't quite know how much I need yet. So then I'm just going to take some black velvet. Try not to make a big mess. So after I get this all mixed together and I get it the color that I want, I'm actually going to add water to water it down to make it more of an acrylic paint consistency. I want to make sure I get it. I may have put too much black in there. I'm going to put a little bit more blue. Ashley, you say you're horrible at decorating 1 or 2 pictures about every 2 years. Yeah, we've lived in this house for a year, and it's the bare walls are bare. Although, to be honest, I kind of like the bare walls. It's definitely a clean look. But I think we need to decorate a little bit. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put it up to some of the ribbon that I got today. Yep, I think I like that color. Okay, so I'm going to put my lids back on. Put those out of the way. And then I'm going to add some water just to thin it out a bit. Let's put a towel down because I'm getting kind of messy. I just want to thin it out so that it'll be more of a paint consistency. Don't forget, if you come on in, say hello in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. Maybe a little bit more. I might need a lot more water. I don't quite. So I'm just adding water to this because I want to paint with it. So I don't want it to be thick like it normally is. Let's see what that does. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my paintbrush. Oh yeah, that's the perfect color, maybe. So this is the 16-inch Rustic Round. They are out of stock right now, but hopefully they'll be back in stock soon. It's one of the few things that's actually out of stock from the relaunch that just happened on Tuesday. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the new catalog, it is chock full of fall and Halloween and Christmas and a few winter goodies. my list is long and my wallet is empty. So hopefully these rounds will come back in soon. Ooh, mixed up a bit too much paint. And I'm just painting out towards the edges, so hopefully I don't get any on the outside, because I don't really want to have to paint the edges. I will if I have to, but so now I'm just going to try to even out my brush strokes and try to get some of these clumps out of here. Okay, I'm going to dry that and see what that looks like. Did everyone enjoy the 4-day work week? I kind of wish we had 4-day work weeks every week. Got some paint goobers. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a little bit on its own. And I'm going to wash my hands. And then I think I'm going to add some cream stripes up above the navy stripes. I think in the cart link I added storm, but I think I'm going to change my mind and use, this is almond, but I think it might be camel in the new catalog. I'm not for sure. Okay, so I'm going to leave that, this tape line here. That one's out. And I'm going to open up this new thing of placement tape. Scissors. And this placement tape it's a lot like if you've ever used washi tape before. It's kind of like that. It's great when you're wanting to line things up, or when you're needing, like when you're using fonts and all the individual letters. So I'm gonna use this piece as my cheater piece, kind of my placement piece. I'm going to stick that down. And again, I'm going to try to use that piece and my cutting mat, or yeah, to make sure that it's even. And I'm going to use this piece down here. Of course, it'd help if I put that one even. Okay. I'm going to burnish those down. Make sure they're good and stuck. So then I'm going to take my my almond color. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little dollop in the color tray. This is already a little lumpy, so we may have to do a little bit of work to this one. So I'm just going to add some water to this one. Whoops. Stick that over there. Oh man, I have a mess. Okay, so now I'm just going to add some water to this. Give it a good stir. Try to get all those lumps out, because then it makes my paint lumpy. Not for sure that's going to be thick enough. Let's give it a try. Get that out of the way. Let's just see. It might be a little too thin. I don't know. Just going to pull up a little bit and see. Yeah. I think I'm going to add a little bit more color to it. It's a bit thinner than I want. Wash my hands again. Okay. So I'm just going to try to get that all mixed together with some of that water. Make it a little thicker. Let's see what that does. It's a little better. So I'm going to paint this stripe down here. messed up. Went over my tape a little bit, so I'm just going to add, or going to get that while it's wet. Okay. Yeah, I like that color. Okay, so I'm going to dry, well, I think I might go over this one. I'm going to dry those ivory stripes and maybe go over them again just to get a little more color saturation. If you're popping on, go ahead and say hi in the comments so I know who's here. I'm just doing a little painting with chalk paste. I've watered it down to make it more of an acrylic paint consistency, and we're just painting on some stripes. Okay, so I'm going to paint these almond stripes again, just to get a little bit more color saturation going on. Hey Amanda, how's it going? I'm gonna add a little bit more water. It's a little thick. There we go. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm gonna dry it. Hello, Ben. How are you? Good evening. I'm just going to dry these. And this watered down chalk paste, it dries really fast. That's the nice thing about using it over acrylic paint, that it dries super fast. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my tape. I'm going to do it kind of slow. Put that in the trash. Okay. I'm just going to get off. I've got some goobers from the tape. And I can see where I went over a little bit down here. That looks so good. I just want to stop here because I don't want to I don't want to mess it up. Okay, I'm just getting some of this chalk paste off my table. Okay. Now, I'm just trying to decide whether I should wax this before I put my transfer down, and just making sure it's uber dry. I am going to fuzz it really well. So I'm just going to take my fuzzing towel and we'll bring back in our transfer. This is the transfer that we're using. So because this is brand new and it's never been used before, it is super sticky. And because I'm using it on painted wood, for one, I don't want the transfer to peel up any of that paint. And two, I don't want the transfer to pull up any of the wood splinters. So I'm just going to put it on this towel and pull it off several times just to get some of the, just kind of get a lint buildup on the back so it's not so sticky. If you don't have a fuzzing towel, you can use just an ordinary terry cloth towel. You could use your shirt, you could use your pants, you could use a throw pillow that's nearby. Let's see, hopefully good here. Got a few fuzzies where I don't want them. Like this one is really close to the edge of that silk screen, so I want to try to get that one off. Okay, so we're going to place this down. And I'm just kind of feeling for the edges to see how close I am. And I'm trying to get it even between the two edges of my navy stripe. And I'm not going to fiddle too much with the teal areas out here, but I am going to kind of make sure that in the interior portions it's rubbed down really well so I don't have any air bubbles. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. So now I think I'm going to use white, which I forgot to grab. Figure out which one I'm going to use. I think we'll use this one. So I'm just going to grab my white paste. And it is paste even though it has the white lids. So you can see I've got a purple lid and a white lid. Thanks to the pandemic, we've gotten some surprise lids. So this is indeed paste and not ink. I think I'm going to use a larger squeegee. So I'm just going to dip my squeegee into my chalk paste. Goobers everywhere. I'm just going to put globs along the top. And then I'm just going to take my squeegee and I'm going to go along the silk screen areas. And I'm just going to cover it with chalk paste, kind of like I'm buttering a piece of toast or frosting a cake. Trying to get all of those areas covered. And then I can put the excess right back into my jar. And so now I'm going to go back and smooth everything out, trying to get out all of those lines that my squeegee left. because if you leave those in, you will be able to see it in your finished design. Oops. And so now here's the fun part. I'm going to peel off the transfer. I'm going to peel it up slowly and carefully so I don't, hopefully don't peel up any of that blue. But this is the best part. So I'm just going to lay this over here on my side table, and I'll run it under some water in the sink to clean it later, and then let it dry, and then I'll put it back on my backer sheet, and it'll be ready to go for the next time. Wow. That white against that navy blue is yummy. If you were to make one of these for your front door, what colors would you use? Just curious. And the cool thing is you could stain this board, you could paint the whole thing, you could use one of the background transfers like the leopard, the mini buffalo plaid. There's a country plaid that's out. Amanda, whatever colors you found when Googling it. Sometimes I have to have a visual reference as well. But these are my, maybe it's kind of our living room colors. It's one of my favorite colors, so that's kind of what I went with. Okay. So I'm going to try to clean up a little bit, if that's possible. I'm going to lay some of this stuff over to the side, because if I don't, I will get this stuff all over my ribbon. Put those away. Oops. Clean it off a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to try to add some flower, some greenery, and phooey, and the bow at the top. So okay, try to get some of these goobers off. Okay, so I picked out some ribbon. I think I just want to use one, but I don't know which one. I could also do kind of a messy bow. I'm leaning towards this one, so I think that's what I want to do. And we're going to experiment with a new bow technique, so we'll see how it works. So I'm going to cut 8 strips about 12 to 14 inches long. And this is, gosh, it's like it just finds me. And this is wire edged ribbon. So I'm just using my cutting mat as a reference. And then I'll just use this piece as a reference. So again, I want 8 pieces about 12 to 14 inches long. I've got 6. I need to make 2 more. So there's 7. There's 8. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple at a time. Actually, I just need to do one end. Hold on. I was going to dovetail them, but I think I'll wait till later. So what I'm going to do, I've got some zip ties over here. Is what you want to do is you want to kind of I don't want to fold it completely in half, but I do want to leave a little bit of a tail. And I'm just going to kind of gather it. We'll see if this works. So I'm just going to pinch it in the middle. And then I'm just going to add them to my hand. And I'm going to do that for all 8. Again, I'm just folding it, not quite in half, maybe 1/3. Well, a little over 1/3 of the way. So this is kind of a cheater way to get a loopy bow. And a hand cramp at the same time. So again, I'm just kind of pleating it, pinching it in the middle. Trying to make sure I have the same size bows. Just kind of pleating it and putting it in there. Okay, so then I'm going to take a zippy tie. I think I'll use the smaller one. And I'm not going to cinch it. Oops, backwards. I'm not going to cinch it all the way up yet. I'm going to leave a little bit of slack in it so that I can kind of fluff my bow a little bit before I pull it all the way tight. So see, now I'm just going to fluff it out just to make sure it's kind of the way I want it. And if I want to make the loops a little shorter, I can pull on these tails. This one's kind of long. Oops, totally pulled that one out. Let's see if we can fix that one. Where's that one? Fixed it. Some of these are a lot longer than I want. So I'm just going to pull them down. They're a little longer than I'd like. That's why I didn't cinch my ribbon down all the way. That one's really tall. Again, we're experimenting, so that's looking a little better. I think the shorter the loop, the better. Okay, so I think I'm going to pull that. It's not quite how I'd like it, but for the first time, it's not too bad. So I'm going to pull it tight. Oh, I don't have to cut it off now. Normally you'd cut that part off, but that one just kind of tore. So then what you do is just take your tails and you kind of arrange them. And the nice thing about wired edge is if you need to twist the tails, you can, and they'll keep their shape. Not the prettiest bow, but when you put it on we're going to add it to our door hanger. Wait, it's kind of scary looking. Might have to tweak it a bit. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is I'm going to add some greenery on here. I need to figure out. So I just got these little boxwoods from Walmart. So I'm just going to kind of arrange them for right now. I think I want them to point down a little bit. So probably should have. I'm going to plug in my glue gun real quick. Sorry, we're kind of experimenting together. I don't know if I'm going to need my glue gun, but we'll have it on just in case. So I think I've got these little zip ties here. How's everybody doing out there? Have I lost y'all? Okay, so I'm just going to zip tie these together. I'm going to cut that one off. This is best. Okay. And the nice thing is these are kind of wire based, so I can bend them. I think I'm going to use the whole as to help anchor everything. So I'm just going to add some twine through the hole. I may not glue. I don't like to hot glue things because then I can take it apart later, but it may not be very sturdy if I don't. Gotta fix this bow a little bit. Which one is that one? That one. Let's see if I can pull that down a little more. I still need to arrange these tails. I guess I could pull them all down. Doesn't look too bad. Now, figure out how to connect all of that together. That one is still really long. Bingo. See, and even with that zip tie, I can still pull a few things. I think the shorter the loops are, the better it looks. Just my opinion. There. I think I got it looking a little better. Okay, now I'm trying to think if I could run a zip tie. Can I get lucky? I can. Ha. Okay, so I'm just going to zip tie all of this together. Hopefully. And my zip tie's just about too small. How's that looking? And I think that zip tie will help the greenery stay on. Ow. So then I'm going to tie this piece of twine around the zip tie as well. And then we'll do some fluffing. Okay. So then I'm just going to fluff the bow down. For not really knowing what I was doing, it doesn't look half bad. I think with a little more practice, and I think I will dovetail the ends of the ribbon later, but I won't bore you with that. So here is our finished door hanger, all ready for my door. And I didn't need any paint. I just needed chalk paste, the transfer, some greenery, and a bow, and some ribbon. Thanks, Amanda. And I'll hopefully, as I have workshops throughout the summer and as these come back into stock, I hope to have these available at workshops. It might be just a fun class for everyone to do a door hanger. There's lots of great examples. There's lots of different ways to do it. So if there aren't any questions, I'm going to go ahead and hop off for the evening so that I can go on my date with my husband. So I'm going to find my mouse. Let's get it over here so I can't find my mouse. I'm going to try to hop off. There we go. Okay, so I hope to be live. I may try to hop on tomorrow and do a quick project, but I've got a busy day. Maybe Sunday, but I'll definitely be back Monday. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you later. Have a great evening.